What does it mean to be a jack of all trades in League of Legends? What is versatility and how do you take it and actually morph it into being the best player you can be in League of Legends? Let's jump into it.
I love gold!
Hello everybody and welcome to a video about versatility, about becoming a jack of all trades in League of Legends. I know I've said it before, I know I have, just play one champion, just play one role, something like that. Yes, that's the best way to do it if you're wanting to climb, if you're wanting to just get out of gold, get out of bronze, get out of iron, silver, whichever. But when it comes to getting better as a League of Legends player altogether, you really want to be able to embrace versatility. And what that is it's basically you knowing how to play the game from everybody's perspective. You know how to play top. You know how to play mid. You know how to play jungle. You are going to be able to kind of know where you need to be on that map at all times. Yes, it's good for specialization. Yes, it's good to know how to play top lane and know the matchups and know all this. But to be better at playing League in general and actually break through and become your best potential, you're going to need to learn how to work the rest of the map. It's just going to be easier for you to know what's going on elsewhere if you already have played elsewhere. You're going to know how to push this wave a certain way because you are an ADC. You've played ADC before, and you know that if the ADC doesn't get this wave in a certain way, then he's just screwed. Or if you go in and you are playing in the jungle, you know, we have to be here for these grubs, or we have to try for this dragon because it's third dragon, it's going to be soul point, we have to figure out what's going on here, we need to be able to fight for it, that kind of stuff there. You know the good warding spots because you've played support before, or you are able to kind of ward everything out because you know how to play. Like, you know how to be able to go through the jungle and say, this is the way the pathing is going to work. It's just that simple to go in and really create the best version of you to play League of Legends here. It's something that versatility is just more than being a jack of all trades. It really is. I mean, a lot of times people say, like, oh, it's a jack of all trades, master of none. But there's a longer quote to that. It's jack of all trades, master of none, but still better than master of none. And honestly, when it comes to a point here and you are like just playing one way, you're going to end up just being like just so blindsided that you don't know what's going on the rest of the map. You're focused on top lane. It is a just island. You're up there. You're just auto-attacking Ornn, and you're, getting your grasp procs, or you're getting your Nautilus Qs off. Whatever. Not Nautilus. Your Nasus Qs up. And you're just not paying attention to the map at all. And that is something that I think is a really big issue. It's not just top lane. Top lane is an island. You're right. But you go into the other lanes. You go into jungle. You go, especially ADCs. They just focus on ADC stuff. They focus on CSing. They focus on dealing damage in fights. They don't, a lot of times I think a lot of what the toxicity in League of Legends comes from is people not realizing that, like, this champion can't do what you want it to do. This person in the top lane or whatever can't TP down there because, like, it would screw up their wave and they wouldn't be able to do this, or they wouldn't be able to do, they wouldn't be able to roam down here to help you with jungle because they're being pushed in and it's going to screw their lane. They're not going to be able to do this. But if you've played those other lanes and you kind of realize that, you're like, oh, you're right. Like, I'm upset right now, but I get where you're coming from. And I think that's something that we need to take a step back and look at here, because it is going to be versatile and the versatility inside of you that's going to make you a better player overall. It's going to like kind of almost, I feel, cover up for some of those, if you're an older player like myself, you're covering up a little bit of your actual like mechanical misplays by knowing the map, by knowing what this player is going to do, or what could happen in this lane here, or something like that. I honestly think it is something that's really cool to see when you're able to play the game and your top lane moves to you at mid to help because he realizes you're being frozen on and he's helping you out. That's a great thing. Or a jungler comes and wards up the bottom side of the map here to help out the bot lane, and it's just like it's that team cohesion. It's getting everybody together and really figuring things out that I think could actually be what kind of fixes League of Legends, at least when it comes to like mentality issues and that kind of stuff here. But when you have to actually look at it and you see like the different skill sets that you actually bring to the game, you having knowledge of all the different lanes is going to be better for you. Honestly, like it's hard. I get it. We all have unless you're a pro player, we all have other things to do. We all have other stuff that we pay attention to. We pay attention to anime. We pay attention to politics. We pay attention to YouTube and to Twitch and all this different stuff. And we don't really have time to kind of sit here and really think about oh, what does this matchup do? And what does that matchup do? And all this. But if you want to be the best League of Legends player you can be, which I know you can be, like you right there listening to this video here, I know you can be the best player you want to be if you just take a moment and sit down, maybe watch a top lane guide, even if you don't play top lane. Play normals and, play a couple games of whatever the meta top laners are. If you end up finding out that, you're really bad against Renekton when they're on the enemy team or something like that, even if you're a mid laner, play Renekton. Play him in a normal game and just see, well, how does he play? What's really that, what's the farthest he can get to me if I'm in mid lane? How can he get to me quicker? What are the different ways that he can get to me? I keep dying to him because he slices and dices in, and then he gets me and he just kills me. Okay, well, how do we prevent that in the future? You're able to actually know what's going on there. Knowing kind of the crux of everything and knowing what you can do in the game, even if you physically can't do it, I feel is better than not knowing at all. It just seems like there's such a the game is always changing. Things are happening all the time where you are taking a look at maybe, a changing top meta where you end up having things like Olaf and Aatrox and Rumble and Jace and all this different stuff that's just doing a bunch of damage in there. But then, quick, it jumps in and now there's tanks in the top lane and you're doing stuff differently. And you have to realize that the game is going to play differently based on what's going on in the game, what champions are in the game. I know you probably know this. I know you play the game and you know that, yes, the game feels different when you have a tank in top lane versus having a bruiser in top lane or even having an ADC in top lane. It all does change. But honestly, taking a look at what the whole rest of the map actually does, focused on what your meta basically is in your lane, it's just so much smoother of a transition from match to match and from even patch to patch that you will actually feel so much better and you'll kind of know, oh, I shouldn't be doing this because this champion really has a really long engage range and they're just able to take me out right now because I have either played against this champion or I've been keeping up on this new, I kept up on Camille's new E range or something like that. Even though I don't play against Camille, I play mid lane or I play jungle or something like that. It's just something that having the ability to see everything that's happening and being versatile there is going to actually make it so that you can kind of specialize even more so. You know how to deal with this as, let's say, your champion. You know how to deal with something happening in in bot lane as a support because you've played ADC. You know how to ward better as a jungler because you've played support. Like those kinds of little stuff. You can take things from here. You know how to CS better because you played mid when you need to cover as a jungler or as a support or something. You're able to kind of play the game and have all these different little bits that make this whole that you can actually play the game so much better than if you were actually just focusing on this single role. I think honestly having the specialization and just being like, oh well, I'm just gonna play just ADC all the time and I'm just gonna play Draven every game and stuff like that. It's not really great. Like, it doesn't feel like, yes, it's a good way to win. It's a good way to win. You know how to play your champion, and I've said it here before. It's a good way to not focus on learning the other parts of the game and actually learning how to play the game with that one specific champion. But that can hurt you. There's some downfalls there. Like, it just makes sense. Think about it. If you know how to play the game as Draven, let's go back to that. You know how to play the game as a Draven ADC. Well, you're going to play the game a lot differently than if you were playing as a mage in mid lane. You're going to play, Annie. Let's say you get randomly off-rolled and you can't play, Draven's banned, and you have to play like Annie mid lane or something like that. Well, you're going to jump in, you're going to flash in, you're going to try to do this stuff because you're used to playing this way as Draven, and you're just so much... You just know what to do. Like, you should be dealing this damage. You should be doing this. You should be spacing like this. Well, everything with this is different. It's not just Draven's world right now. It is, you have to figure out what is going on in this world. You have to figure out what's going on with your actual champion that you're playing currently, and not just kind of that narrow-minded thinking of that one champion and that one role. You have to find that path that gets you to what actually wins the game. It's just that easy. If you are looking for things like the best way to win these games, you have to be versatile. You have to unlock your actual potential there by being the most versatile person on the team. You have to know that support is going to be playing like this. He's going to be able to hook here. He's going to be warding here. And you're going to have to even, I don't even want to say mind trick your actual, enemies. But you have to kind of know, all right, well, you got to be... It's almost like driving in real life, okay? It's like driving. You have to be the most predictable person because other people are unpredictable. That's the way you have to work these things. You have to know this is what's going to happen. You have to see these trends happening before it actually comes. And you're going to have to focus on, okay, that's going on here. He's playing the certain way. And when he plays a certain way, could mean that his jungler is here. Or it could mean that the support is roaming up. Or he's playing like this and it's really aggressive and that's weird. But is that just a bluff? And you're never going to learn these things if you don't end up going into these roles and playing things. You're never going to realize why or even how players can go in and proxy a wave or something like that. You won't be able to really realize that and understand what that does in general. As a jungler, looking at proxy laning or proxy farming and stuff like that, a lot of times I'm I don't know necessarily how to stop this. I don't know what you want me to do here. Do you want me to kill him? Do you want me to go in? Do you want me to do this? What's going on here? Do you want me to just break the proxy up? Do you want somebody to show up there? But if you then go and you play the top lane and you go, okay, what do I need in this position here? what is my jungler that is playing for me? He might know a little bit more than I do. What is he doing to help me out here because I'm being proxied on? Oh, well, he's doing this. Okay. You know what? Let me write that down. That's a good thing. I'm gonna do that next time. I'm gonna dive him and make him kill himself under turret, and it's gonna all work, and it's great. We're gonna be able to get out of here. We're gonna be able to ward up my jungle or something like that. We're gonna be able to figure this out because you're learning from other people in the game, because you're trying different things. The game has so many people on it. A lot of these people are going to be smarter than you at certain things. They're going to know how to defend and attack other things by just knowing what their champion does, knowing what the enemy champions do, because they've played against them 400 times and you've only played against them 40 times, or something like that. You have to learn to figure out and kind of learn yourself. Be like, okay, let me just not, I don't know everything. You have to know that you don't know that you don't know what you don't know. Because that's the biggest thing here. I think a lot of League of Legends players are very focused on the fact that, well, I'm the best player there is. I'm the best on the team. Why don't you guys just feed me? I see this so many times when I take a look at mid laners, ADCs, even top laners who play carries and everything like that, even carry junglers. I see this flawed logic. It's I'm the best player on the team. Why are you taking my kills? Why are you depriving me of what I need to win? Well, maybe there's a thought there. Maybe that guy will actually be able to take that gold and the money there and the XP and all this, and is going to be able to propel himself forward because he's able to see, I'm able to get this item breakpoint, and I knew I was supposed to get that kill so that I can get to this item breakpoint, so that I can go into the enemy jungle and take them out earlier than normal, or I can do this, or I can do that. And it's just, we're so quick to blame that, honestly, looking at it from this point of view of honestly trying to learn is going to be great. That we can just take a look at it and say, okay, what is this guy doing? Let him cook. Let him cook. We have this big motivation, everyone's like, hey, let him cook. Let him cook. Bro's cooking, Let them cook. Let them figure that stuff out. And honestly, all together, you can unlock your full potential if you just go into this game just thinking versatile. You're thinking about what the other team is going to do. Think about what your team is going to do. Yes, you're focused on what you are doing. But like I said, you're focused on what you're doing because you now know your champion from one-tricking it or from two-tricking, whatever you want to do. You have so much kind of innate stuff because you're playing this one champion or these two champions just themselves that you are really taking a look and you're seeing that, hey, I can do this now, or I can lose this wave because we're gonna go get Herald, or I can lose this wave and it's really not gonna do anything to me because I'm gonna be able to get gold on this kill here, or I'm gonna be able to go in here and do that or do this. And it's just thinking that way and looking at it that certain way is just fantastic. It's good to see. It's good work here, honestly. I honestly think, though, guys, that this is something that I have really been looking forward to, is just kind of breaking stuff down like this. If you enjoyed this video, what I need you to do is hit that like button, hit the subscribe, hit that hit the notification bell. There we go. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go on, follow me on Twitter, follow me on TikTok. I'm all over the place, guys. And I would love to help you out. If you want to learn how to get better at League of Legends, you want to learn how to get a better mindset, you want to learn how to not tilt every friggin' game, hit that subscribe button and we'll see you for more videos. I'll see you in the next one.